Welcome to Opening Local Doors with OCCSI. In this podcast, we're going to introduce you to local small business owners, entrepreneurs, and the employees of those businesses that are supporting our community. And we're going to discuss how the community can support these local businesses and see to their success. My name is Ian Dickherber. I work at On-Site Computer Consulting Services Incorporated. Here at OCCSI, we work on a daily basis with small to mid-sized businesses. And what that has taught us is that within every business, there is a person, a story, and a commitment to the community. We're going to work on a daily basis to open doors, to introduce these businesses to our local community, and work to assist with the success of those businesses. Today, we're opening doors to Melissa Harbaugh of Hope Realty. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to our podcast. Can you please tell us a little bit about how you got started in realty?
I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had an in-home daycare. And once my baby turned 5 and was going to go to school, I'm like, Mama needs a real job. Raising babies is a hard job, and especially other people's babies, but I needed to get out of the house. I was so over it. And we had bought and sold multiple houses every 2 to 5 years, just as a couple, my husband and myself. So I was like, why are we paying these people to do it when we can do it ourselves? And a lot of times we would for sale by owner and end up selling it before the realtor even got to us. So I'm like, I could totally do this. And I had seen a family member who was also a realtor post something on social media and was like, hey, would you like a career change? It was like all this wonderful things. I'm like, you know what, I think I do. And I've never been a person that worked well with corporate America. We did tables forever in a century. So I was just like, I don't like people telling me what time I got to be, where I got to be, and when I got to be there. So I was like, I'll just work for myself.
So you started Hope Realty about how long ago?
This past February was 2 years that Hope Realty has been in existence. However, I've been licensed as a realtor since 2015. And then my broker's license I actually got in 2021. So I'm not new to the business, just brand new face.
Brand new face. So tell me a little bit about if people are looking to engage with Hope Realty. What does that look like? What is exactly, do I sell my home with you? Do I buy a home with you? Can I buy land? Tell me a little bit about the things that you do for folks that are seeking to make those transitions.
So as long as you're in Missouri, period, it can be the Ozarks, it could be Poplar Bluff, it could be Lincoln County, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, pretty much anywhere within, I would say, like a 2-hour drive from like central St. Charles County. I have 2 other agents. So one is in Fenton, so she can do all of that area. And then another one is over in Forestell. So between the 3 of us, and then my home office is in Lincoln County. So between the 3 of us, we have a really large area that we can service, but really anything. I have one agent that's looking to help people find rentals. So whether it's in an apartment or a house or a condo, she can help you with that, which she can help you with everything. But we do commercial, we do land, we do residential. We have like just a lot in Lake Community. So really anything that entails real estate, we can help with.
To buy or sell.
Yep.
To buy or sell.
Yep.
And if I reach out to you, I know the real estate market's not predictable. It never has been. But what are your thoughts about selling homes right now? Is that something that you're really looking forward to doing, or do you prefer to do commercial? Is there good and bad in all of it? How does any of that work?
I enjoy the residential part of it mostly. Yes, I've done commercial and I can continue to do commercial. It's a longer process and oftentimes there's not as much of an inventory and they're very particular with what they want. And then of course if it's not zoned properly, then you have to go to the zoning board. And so there's a lot more that is entailed in it. So for me, I enjoy the residential part mostly. Especially when you have someone who maybe hasn't purchased a home in a really long time, or maybe it's their first home. just like the excitement to go there. And it's a journey. It's like an adventure. You go and you look at all these different houses and these different condos and all the things, and you like see how excited they are talking about, oh, in this room, I'm going to do this. And in that room, I'm going to do that. And then when they actually at the 30, 45 days later, after they've gone under contract and they're sitting at the closing table and they're crying because they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I could get here. And then I was part of that. It's just a lot more rewarding for me.
Sounds like a happy moment for the home buyer or seller,
Yeah.
as for the agent, right?
Yes, yes.
So if I would contract with Hope Realty, what do you think makes you unique as a small business realty company versus some of the bigger, not small companies?
So I think one of the things that sets us apart, which I'm sure a lot of boutique brokerages are fairly similar, but I think part of what sets apart, even just using me as the realtor, not just the owner of the company, is because I own the company, I have a lot more space to be able to negotiate with commission. There is no standard commission. That's another story for another time, but there was a big whole lawsuit a couple of years ago about all that, and it is what it is. But big box companies were getting in trouble because they were trying to make a standard commission. So there's no such thing. So I think one of the things that set me apart and that I've trained my agents to do as well is we're not in it for the paycheck. That's just the perk. We're in it to build a relationship with these people, to find out what they need, not just what they want, and to mark down and be very transparent with. I was just having a training with them earlier today, and we were doing what's called a CMA, a comparative market analysis. And I'm getting ready to list a property in next week. And part of that process is finding out the comparables and see really where their house is marketable. And part of that I explained to them is now that we have all these numbers, now I can sit down with the seller and be like, okay, listen, there's this range. If it can sell anywhere between from here and here, and then it'll praise out. But we need to find out what is a good number for you, for me to be able to figure out what compensation and for what you're willing to give in seller concessions. So we do what we call a seller net proceed sheet. So we start off with, I do two ranges, the low end and the high end. And then you've got to write down like how much they still owe. And then what possible closing costs, which because I've been in the business long enough, I pretty much know, not to the dollar, but I can usually within $100 know about what their closing costs are going to be. And then offer them advice on, okay, you might have a buyer that comes in and asks for help paying their buyer's agent fee, or maybe help paying for, maybe they're going to put in new flooring, or maybe there's a few things on the inspection notice that aren't a huge deal, but maybe they're not handy and they're not going to be able to do it, so they're going to ask for concessions. So I can advise them on, these are some things we're looking for, so they can start having their mindset to, this is a possibility. So how much at the end of the day after I deduct that, and I deduct whatever compensation that I suggest, I always start with a number. And then once we get to that bottom line of what they're going to net, I'm like, is that number comfortable for you? And if they're, most of the time they're like, yes. But sometimes they're like, I was really hoping to get X. And if I can finagle the numbers, we can finagle it to where, obviously I have a family too, so it does have to help pay, one, compensate for what I've put into the listing, because you've got photos, you've got marketing, there's paper that we have to print for the open houses, and the food, their open house. There's lots of expenses in it, which ultimately is not their fault, but I do want to recoup at least my cost and then still give a little, because I have to pay taxes on it whether or not, because I'm a 1099. All realtors are a 1099. So we have to put money aside for taxes, which for me, full transparency, is 20%. I put that aside. So whatever number we figure out, I've got to make sure I compensate that. So as long as I get that minimum number that I need, plus a little profit for helping them for my time, I'm willing to play with that number a little bit. And sometimes it's like, I can't really play with my number much more than I already have, but now we know if the buyer comes and asks for seller concessions, we just can't go over X amount of dollars, or maybe we don't offer them at all, because our bottom line is what you need to walk away with at the end of the day. So I think that's the biggest thing that sets me apart. My bottom line is what they need to walk away with.
So what I heard you say is dealing with Hope Realty versus one of the big box real estate companies is the ability to have a transparent conversation and understand that although you have to make a living,
Yes.
then the income for that is supporting you and your agents. You're not supporting the big box company. So there's a lot more flexibility
Yes.
and what can be
What I was
done.
looking for.
There you go. There's a lot more flexibility
Yes.
in what can be happen.
Yes.
The other thing I heard loud and clear is you really work to establish a rapport and a level of trust.
Yes.
And
So important.
and you have to be able to address, not only trust your buyer or seller, but they too have to be able to trust you. And by giving them all of the transparent numbers and sitting with them, I don't know about our listeners, but that would enhance my ability to believe that I'm in the best set of hands for what's going to happen.
Not-
And that you'll keep me informed as
Oh,
we
yes.
navigate where we are.
Yes.
So within the communities that you serve, is there any way or how do you give back to the community itself? It sounds like you help the individuals, you work with the individuals, but as the community as a whole, I know there are things that you do to support the communities that you work in.
Yeah.
Can you share with us what those things are?
So ultimately, since I am a small business, I obviously want to give back to other small businesses. And there are so many big box national businesses and companies that I can go to. Everybody needs a realtor in their back pocket because they're the ones who can provide concrete work and lending and title and home inspections. Name it, they need it. So we're usually the hub for everyone. So if I need somebody for any service, whether it's for my clients or even for my own personal, my way of giving back is to make sure that I'm using local companies within the community. So my business phone is through someone within our chamber that is local, that is small. My internet services, shout out to them. All of my cybersecurity and all the things that help me not have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I getting hacked? Because they're just doing their thing, and I'm gladly to pay another small business to do what they need to do. It could be anything from buying gifts for my family or even gifts for my clients. At closing, I'm going to the small businesses before I'm going to Walmart, before I'm going to just help keep those small businesses alive, because it's hard when you got big bucks.
The reality of it is to support a small business, you are paying that business's grocery bill or
Yes.
your family's grocery bill or
100%.
their whatever is in their life.
Yeah.
And so you know exactly where that's going, which is the foundation of why we're chatting today,
Yes.
is to be able to support those small businesses.
Yes.
So we've talked about Hope Realty, we've talked about the community, but let's talk about how the community within Lincoln County, St. Charles County, and other counties in the state of Missouri, how can we as members of those communities support Hope Realty? What can we do to help your business succeed?
I think word of mouth is key to any small business in general, because I can do all the fancy marketing. I can do all of the fancy events and things like that. But if people don't get to know you, not only as a person, but as a business and what you stand for, your values, your integrity, your rapport, it's not going to get me anywhere. So the best way that people can help me would be to share my name, share my company with people that you know. Like, we're getting ready to come up on 4th of July and Father's Day. You're going to be at the barbecues. You're going to be talking to people and be like, man, I wonder what White House is worth. Oh, I wonder if it's a good time to sell. It's so easy to just call a realtor. And I'm going to give this to all realtors, because any one of us, if you go to a realtor and they're charging you to do a CMA, you need to run, and you need to run fast and far. But most of us will take the time it takes to do a comparative market analysis on your home to give you a range. Now, it's not going to be to the T, because we don't want you to take it and run with it, but we'll give you a range of what the market is showing in your specific neighborhood, maybe even just right on the outside of it, but it's free. And we would love to sit down and have that conversation with you. Just give them like, hey, tag me in a social media post, tell them, hey, go to movewithhoperealty.com, whichever way you want to do it. But the biggest thing for me is a lot of people lose it or they forget. So it's like, contact me, give me their phone number, and I'm happy to make that phone call. Even if it's just a quick, hi, this is my name. I would love to help you in whatever capacity. You might only need a name for a handyman, and that's okay. I have you. You might need a painter. It's okay. I got you. So if I can help you in some way, it's going to help me, because then we're going to start building that relationship. We're going to start building that. And then when you are ready to buy or sell, or you do have that family or friend that has it, hopefully I'm not top of mind. Hey, she helped me with this. I'm going to give this to her. And then just know you're helping my little small business to flourish. And my goal with my agents is eventually, maybe 10, 15 years from now, to get to a point where I'm overseeing the business and I'm teaching my agents to be able to run their own businesses and eventually fly off on their own. So by helping me, you're helping them, because I'm going to start referring some of it through our little company. So you're helping not just one person within Hope Realty. You're helping 3 of us in our families.
And that's really what this is about, is making sure that the small businesses that OCCSI is opening doors to, that we assist them in succeeding.
Yeah.
So as a member of the community, if I wanted to reach out to you, Melissa, what is the best way to reach Hope Realty?
So there's a couple of ways. If you're more of a cold texter, you can go to 314-930-HOPE, H-O-P-E. Don't ask me what those numbers are. I think it's like 4673 maybe? I don't know. But I did that purposely so I could say hope. However, you can go to the website. It's www. I'm on Instagram. I don't think I'm on Twitter. But Facebook is primarily, and there's a Hope Realty. You don't necessarily need to look for me as a person, because that's my family, friends, people. We'll become friends, and you will become one of my friends on Facebook, because that's literally in 11 years what has happened. All of my clients have become friends. But I do have a Hope Realty page, so you can just search for Hope Realty. You'll find it on and then Instagram is the same. I think it's Move with Hope Realty. It's really bad. But if you go to my website and you go to the bottom, there is a link where you can just click it and it takes you right where you want to go.
There you go. That's what we're going to do. Go to our website and you'll find all of her social media.
Yeah, and on the website too, they can even do home searches. A lot of people are using Zillow or Realtor. You can do the same thing from my website, and it connects directly to the MLS, which is a multiple listing system, which all the realtors in the whole surrounding area in Missouri are using, and it's live. It's real time. So you do your searches, it's pulling you everything that's real time. Everything that popped up 5 minutes ago or 6 months ago.
Right. So if you have any questions about realty, if you need some hope in the fact that you can transition to a new home or from an old home, or buy a piece of land, Melissa Harbaugh is your go-to with Hope Realty. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us. It's been amazing. Let's all go move
Thank you for
with
having me.
hope.
I turn hope and dreams into reality.
There you have it. Take care, everyone.